Page 61, 16th Notes. I'm sure most of you already know what 16th notes are. However, they're presenting them, so will I. Let's go back to our notes. Remember, notes just divide. We've had whole notes, and divide it into you get half notes, divide it into you get quarter notes, and then eighth notes, and divide an eighth note into two 16th notes to an eighth note. We could keep going, 30 seconds, and okay. It's indicated with two flags. If you have one 16th note by itself, there's two flags instead of one. Or if they're beamed either according to the feel or the beat or whatever helps you organize it in your head. They're usually really good at 16th notes to help you figure out where they are. A lot of times it'll be 4 16th notes beamed together because there's 4 16th notes in a quarter note, and a quarter note a lot of times gets the beat. So it just makes sense. As far as counting them, different methods of counting them. Different teachers teach different methods. You do whatever you do. I use the method the book does. Let's do 2/4 time. The beat gets a number 1, 2, 1, 2. Those are beats. That would be quarter notes. 1, 2. Okay. The eighth note gets an and in between. I connect the numbers with an and. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Those are eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Well, for 16th notes, I add an E and an in there. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 1. Those are 16th notes. See, it's just double. All you're looking for is some sort of a crutch to help you figure out what the rhythm is. And then once you played it through and you sort of get the rhythm, you don't count it anymore. You feel it. But it can help at first in counting if you can do this. So I do that. 1 E and a 2 E and a. How fast you go, it depends on the music. Because you can have really, really slow 16th notes. Beethoven, in his slow movements of his sonatas and so forth, a lot of those are 16th notes. And they go really slow. You would think they're probably eighth notes as slow as they go. So don't think that because it's a 16th note that it has to go fast. The type of note and the speed you're going are not necessarily connected. Might be in relation in some way. I mean, the notes are in relation to each other. But I can play 16th notes very slowly. Then they have some rhythm readings there. I hate rhythm readings. You go right ahead and have fun with those. If you have questions, you let me know. They have the counting. Just make sure you understand the counting for it, 16th notes. Keep in mind in piano, we've got both hands going and all 10 fingers working, and we can do all kinds of different things at the same time. That means different rhythms at the same time. So make sure you understand counting these rhythms. It's kind of important. Okay. At the bottom of the page, they have that technique thing. All we're doing is playing arpeggios up the keyboard. You should go down also. When I was a kid learning to play piano, just for fooling around, because kids fool around, I used to do this just for fun. I didn't realize at the time that it would really come in handy, and I was actually practicing something that would help a lot. But the idea is you're playing the chord one note at a time, an arpeggio, each hand, up and down the piano. So, and forget the music, just here. Just start anywhere where you want. It's generally, when you're crossing like that, you'll cross over. Sometimes I go under. It's whichever is more convenient. But most of the time, you're going to cross over when you're crossing hands. And that's all you're doing. You're just playing these chords. Whatever, it doesn't matter. You can go up grammatically up the keyboard. You can do it by circle of fifths. You can do it however you want to. And that's sort of what this is. Now, you don't go my speed, you go your speed, and you probably should use a metronome to keep a steady speed. Because using a metronome in itself is a skill. And you actually have to practice using the metronome to get it right. Few people practice using a metronome. They will practice and try and use a metronome while they're practicing the music, but they don't practice using the metronome. I think that's a mistake, because I went for years and years and couldn't keep up with the metronome. I accompanied violin students for a teacher over in Scottsdale for 20-some years. And invariably, when the teacher would say, okay, I'm going to turn on the metronome, let's play it to that, I would just cringe because I knew there's no way that's going to work. Because you start out using the metronome at first. Well, look at this. Let's use this, okay? You start out using the metronome first, you can be right on the beat. Right? But as time goes on, you're concentrating on the music, not the metronome, and you'll get off. You'll get into yours because we have a natural speed we want to go. And if you're going faster than that speed, you'll slow it down. If you're going slower than that speed, you want to speed it up. So after a while, you might be going this. And the metronome is doing its own thing, and you're totally oblivious to it. That causes problems for me as an accompanist because, and ideally, I would like to follow the soloist, although with students, usually have to lead them. But I'm trying to stay with the metronome, and they're doing their own thing. So what do? Do I stay with the metronome, or do I stay with the student? I'm wrong either way I go, in a sense. And I just hate it, and it never worked. And, so you have to practice with a metronome. Get something that works for you and follow it. This metronome looks really good, and people ask me, oh, I like that. Where can I get one? They don't understand that these lights doing this are completely useless as far as using a metronome goes. They're terrible. I do it for the video so you can see the beat like a conductor. Otherwise, they're useless. You need a click. We have a click here. And you need to be hearing the click. That's what you need to do. Stay with the clicks. That's what you need, is the clicks. So you practice with a metronome in order to learn to stay with the metronome at various speeds. There's more to using a metronome. I've been thinking when I'm recording this lesson, maybe I should do a video on how to use a metronome. There's probably stuff out there already. I'm thinking about it. It hadn't happened yet. Let's move on. I'm getting off. So on these arpeggios, use a metronome. Take it at your speed. They don't have to be done fast. And quarter notes is fine. Whatever, I don't care. But go back down. Go back down. Don't just go one direction, because it feels different going each direction. You need to be able to go each direction. Let me know if you have questions.